And what
Yeah.
is that white light that everyone speaks of when they have these near-death experiences? What is that?
Okay. I mean, see, like the situation after dying is not the same for everyone. Okay, it is different for everyone first, okay, depending on their level of the spirit or whatever. Just like even this life is not the same for everyone, you know. So white life is just like whenever you're going through like a portal, you know, like any portal which will take you in any direction, which will come to you like a white sort of thing. You will feel like it's some white sort of thing, which, but it is just a portal which takes you
That
to
makes a lot of
your
sense.
to different things which different spirits are headed towards, and different destinations, and different, because it's not the same actually for everyone. Even the
So
journey is not the same for everyone. Like,
that
so
I'm so happy that you clarified that. You have no idea
yeah.
how much misinformation is out right now about that whole white light thing.
Yes. Yes.
There's a well-known YouTuber,
Mm.
Simon Parks, who says that the white light is a trap from alien forces that want to reincarnate the souls. So there's
Yes.
a lot of that talk going on. So I think I'm really glad that.
I mean, yeah. I mean, the thing is, people will say all kinds of things. I mean, my point is that I know they say like don't go towards the light. I mean,
Yes, that's a thing.
that's do not go towards the light. Okay, but when you are out there, you will go towards somewhere. Okay, first, like, and I think it's not in a lot of times people's hands where people go towards actually, you know. Just like in this lifetime also, a lot of things are not in people's hands, you know. Like things happen with people, there are beings which do things to you, or whatever happens, you know, like, and stuff like happens even out here. Like nobody lives a life out here exactly like they would want to, you know. There are restrictions, and there are all kinds of things on everyone. So the same is the case afterwards also, because a lot of people think that once you die, you become a completely free agent somehow, you know, absolutely free from everything in this multiverse. But that's not the case. Okay, so it is. I would just like to inform them that it's not like. I mean, even right now, people can choose a lot of things, you know, or think of a lot of things, or want a lot of things, but things don't go as per that. Okay, even in this life. So just by not going towards that or like that thing, it's not like it'll be in someone's hands even what is actually happening to them. What people tell is just happens to them so quickly that they don't even realize they are in that. Like it's nothing like they don't even have a time to decide or okay, take a stand or any such thing, you know. So again, it's a lot of ego talking in people, you know, that they can just somehow control everything, you know, like they are above the force in this multiverse basically, you know. But that's not the case. So yeah.
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 It's
Yeah.
nature.
Yes.
There's your
Yes.
proof.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Perfect. And I wanted to also really dispel a lot of misinformation that's going on, especially in the New Age community relating to spirit guides. Um,
Yes.
I personally have never really felt, that connection. I think that it's misunderstood, and I would just love if you can illuminate us with your clarity.
Okay. Like when they say spirit guide means there's an actual outside entity. Okay. Outside entity which you cannot see. Okay. Which will guide you. Okay. Guide means like it will tell you what to do. Okay. And what not to do. That's what guidance is, isn't it? In the end of the day, it's like it's gonna like speak to you and tell you about things, and you know. And so my point in this is that like how can one trust an outside entity which one cannot see? Okay, it can be anything. How do you know that that is for your benefit?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you know, like if something is in front of you, okay, at least you can go go see them, and you can like observe them, you can observe their nature, you can observe their being, and you have a lot of things by which you can make a decision, okay, about them. But when something is unseen completely, you know, you have no way of like knowing anything really about them actually, you know. So I would consider that's a very dangerous thing to do. And I think it's again going off the discipline of taking control of your body and stuff first. Okay, if you are a spirit and you're housing this body, okay, It's your job to first take control of this body yourself, you know, rather than spend your time listening to some other spirits, which might be in whatever, like they might be in lower realms or wherever, and they might be in worse situation than you are, you know, and to listen to them and not focus on what you have to do out here. I think that'll be a distraction completely, and New Age is all about the distraction, all of the things. So, and
Yes.
that's why, yeah, I consider it a very, very dangerous thing to be listening to
Mm.
unseen entities. I'll just call them entities, which can be from any lower realm, any trap situation, and they just might be fooling around with you for various reasons you don't even know, you know, and it's just a pathway. No one can afford to actually go in this human birth, actually, because you have very limited time. You have to like make sure that you use the body properly and do the right actions with it so that you evolve and break out of the cycle of birth and death here. So all of that is such a crazy distraction in my view, you know.
And could
And
there be positive, let's say, spirit entities that could be guiding you in a direction that benefits you? Does that happen as well?
I mean, I, I'll tell you something. Beings who are in higher realms and they are just busy enjoying themselves. They have.
I would be too. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. They don't really that thing of, and they're also very clear about the whole in non-intervention
Okay. Yeah.
thing. Okay, that you don't intervene until someone asks you.
Yeah.
So and all these spirits, if they're intervening without you asking, even cannot have any good interests at heart for you.
Mm.
Anyways, there is a catch. There's
Yeah.
a catch. You know, you know, uh, y- because if you actually like want to learn from someone, you have to actually go to them and you have to first observe them and then go to them and then learn from them, right? Like all of that, you know. So in this case, like a lot of these things are happening from the that side, and and you don't know what you're dealing with. Like you're dealing with things in the dark, basically. So that's never a good that thing. In the dark, you can think anything is anything. In a dark room, you can pick up any object and think it is that. But when you put the light on, it might not be that. you know so it is a very, very dangerous thing, what I would say, to go by, and most likely it won't be for your benefit. And I don't think human beings are meant to do these kind of things. I think they're just meant to take care of their own physical incarnation, you know
Yes.
and that's it, and they're not meant to like dibble dabble with
And I'm so
with
glad that we are able to put this out too, because I think that
yeah,
information is going to benefit a lot of people.
yeah,
I know a lot of good intentioned people too, that they just get you. It's like they all get funneled into the new age, and they speak to their spirit guides, and they do ceremonies for them, and
yeah, yeah.
it's very
I
naive
mean,
in a
yeah,
way.
in the same time, they could be actually be centering and taking control and disciplining themselves. And they can use the same time for doing that, or the same time can be used for doing that kind of thing. And they have to choose that kind of thing. And thing is that if you don't do the discipline yourself, finally you are the one who's going to do the discipline. It's not the spirit guide or any guide. Even a real teacher, even out here, finally will just tell you what to do. The work you'll have to do yourself. Okay. So finally, and none of these spirit guides for some reason tell any of the things to people which I tell them, like center, or like speak multiversal laws and speak the pure principles only. Like none of these spirit guides are interested in any of these things. So it's a very surprising thing that if they are so like for the people they're dealing with, then they should be telling them those kind of things. But up till now, I've never received any such. And I've gone through all of Sedona and all of the New Age channeling and all of that, and I've not come across any real practical thing which can uplift humans. in any of the so-called channelings and so-called guidance and any of that, you know.
Yes,
So
I find it's like they'll give you some things to make you feel good, but then they'll give you a lot of disinformation along with it. Like with
yes,
Bashar in particular, like he'll give you
yeah,
stuff to make you feel good, but then I've heard him say a lot of untruths and
and
yeah,
woohoo stuff, and
yeah, very
yeah,
opposite from you. You speak about how we have a short amount of time here and we have to use this time wisely. And he
yeah,
says that we're infinite and we have all the time in the world, so just enjoy
yes,
yourself.
yes. Yes. And I mean that kind of thing, like, and like even to enjoy, like when you have to know a lot of things and stuff, like what do you mean by enjoy yourself? It's very hard to enjoy yourself when you're ignorant and don't know what to do next. And it's like it's a very tough thing. I mean, it's just like speaking in unreality, and creating more of this nonsense which is already happening, from in people. People think they're billionaires with time, you know and and which is not the case, you know and as some people will be realizing in this year that time can change anytime, you know and yeah, it's
Speaking about
yeah,
what you just said, time, I've been noticing some kind of strange things happening with time.
yes,
It's been very different for me. It like it lengthens and then it shortens a lot. Like the other day, it felt like it was 48 hours in one day. I had so much time and everything I was able to do so quick. It was very strange. And then I'll have days where I used to have days that they pass so much quicker. But is there
yeah.
something happening with time? Is there time changing? Is something going on there?
Yeah, see, time is first not as solid a thing as people think of it, as like solid and linear.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it.
It is not solid or linear. you know it is a very flexible thing. It is like a plasma sort of thing only, like it, rather than a solid object. If and so it can expand, contract, do all kinds of things, and all of that. So nature of time is not known to people in that way, that what it is. And like people think it's linear, but it's actually like it goes like a spiral more.
Okay. And does it
Okay.
affect each
Yeah.
individual differently depending on
Yeah.
the?
And that spring can also, like the spiral spring can expand, contract, like, you know,
Okay, yes, that
like
makes sense.
like this. Yeah. Yeah. So it's so time is also, and for human beings, the most important thing is time is short. Like, that, it's not very long on this plane for anyone. So whatever things have to be done, and the discipline which has to be done, and the lesson, like, of this level one game, of existence, of the human physical body, so one should do that so that one doesn't have to take this body again, you know
Yes, this isn't
yeah,
necessarily the paradise that I don't think anybody would want to stay in long term. I'm actually very
yeah.
grateful that it's pretty short because I would be miserable if I had to be here for 1,000 years.
Yes,
Unless,
I mean, yeah, it's not easy to do all the humanly activities for
yeah,
that long in this plane. It's not a plane designed for that. It was not meant for that. It's a short-term school, like where you quickly learn that, and people should be able to learn that quickly, and that's how it is designed. So what
and
it is designed for, it is that only. In the universe, whatever plane is designed for, what it is, that only, and you should obviously respect that. Okay, and not try to like clash with
yeah,
that.
yes, and
Yeah,
also yesterday I was walking and
yeah,
I was walking my dog and there was a man and beings of different levels, and this was a very like low demonic man, to be honest with you, and he abused his dog in front of me and I was shocked. Like he just pulled him by the neck and then he hit him,
yeah,
and I yelled. I was just like, "Stop!" I was like, "You need to treat your dog gentler." And it's like I just
yeah.
thought about that poor dog and how that innocent dog has to deal with
Yeah.
this man for who
But the
he
yeah,
is.
thing with all this is, you have to understand, Julie, is that like whenever you start saying the words like my on your dog or my dog, or that's the problem. Like he also thinks that it is
Safety
his,
of the
it's
animal.
it's my dog. Okay, he thinks that so I can do anything to it because it's mine. Okay,
Mhm.
if he didn't have this thing, this is mine. This is a separate being. I'm a separate being, and it's not mine. Then it will not be dealing. with that in that way. So it's a very simple. So that's why, like, I tell people not to have pets, not to have an idea of having pets,
Yeah.
because then you think this is something yours, and that just increases your ego, and and then these kind of things happen, you know, and
Yes.
which is, no one wants to see these kind of things happen, like, and the root of that is this whole my thing, you know, and you'll say, oh, it's my dog, I'll do with it whatever I want to, like that kind of, you know, you know, thing would,
Absolutely. Yes.
yeah, yeah,
I hope
yeah,
that they have illumination so that the
yeah.
animals too, and it is like a kidnapping and a claiming of this animal. They should have freedom to live their life.
Like no human beings were meant to keep any animal as pet.
Yeah,
any
I agree.
any animal, like, so that is just a, like, human beings were not supposed to do that, and that's just the law for this plane. It's a factual law from the, it's like, you can call it a multiversal decree.
Yes, and it's sad getting them out of their natural habitat, like these turtles, and putting them into these houses. It's so
Yeah,
sad.
yeah, I mean, the point is, like, they were never supposed to, that keep any of the animals as pet.
Or the
Okay.
tigers. There's a huge thing
Yeah.
in America, in the States, about the tigers. There's tons of them here
Mhm.
in the States.
Yes,
Oh,
I mean, any animal, like, no matter what, like, I mean, this goes across the board. No animal is, like, people are supposed to keep as pet. I mean, they have their, to do work on themselves. They have very short lifespan just to do work on themselves. Why do they bring animals into it to, like, disturb them and disturb themselves? To disturb the animals and disturb yourself as well. Both parties are disturbed here. It's just not right, like, in any way, shape, or form. Like, it's just another distraction. Another way to um, get more negative karma and more devolution, and like,
absolutely. There's a documentary that came out on Netflix. It's called The Tiger King, and it was about
yeah,
this man here in Ohio. He had over maybe 100 tigers. He would breed them and lock them, these beautiful tigers, in cages their whole life. Long story short, he ends up going to jail for some crimes that he had committed. He is spending right now, I believe, maybe it's 20 to 50 years, probably the rest of his life in jail. And he finally realized, like you were talking about, that karma that he incurred, what he had done to those tigers. Now he is living in that reality, and he says that he understands that in that tigers, they die early because in a cage your soul dies, or your spirit, it
mm.
dies, and he's having to live out everything that he did to these animals. So I love that the universe applies that to him, so he knows.
Obviously, yeah, and that's what happens to people all the time, because even all the people who are eating all these animals, those animals are kept in those kind of cages only. All the, or around, well, chickens in very, very small spaces, and in very, very crazy ways. So if people are doing that to animals, they will get that back to them as well. The law of action and reaction. you know so when people are doing these things, they don't understand that these laws actually exist, like law of action, reaction, action, and consequences. They just do not really understand that this is how it is. It's, like, they just think, like, you can do something and get away with it, do whatever, and this kind of thing. But there's an action and consequence to these kind of things, you know actually. So people have to be very, very, you know that thing about what they do in terms of, like, and why not leave the animals alone, like, as a whole, like, whether it's not just for, like pet or eating. Like, man was not supposed to have these things, because there's enough which grows on earth
And I
to
feel too
feed.
that it really, I know it lowers the vibration too. So if we were all to stop sacrificing eating animals, I feel like we would have a massive shift in the energy, and it would get much better from there.
Yes, 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 but people have to realize that, like, this, like, multiversal law of action and reaction and all of that, and they have to really understand it, and they have to know that this is how it works. It's not like some fairy tale, or you know some joke or something. It is actually a reality, and I think that's what these natural disasters and stuff and everything
Mm.
are showing people, that like, human beings think that they are the boss of earth first. Okay. And which they are not, like, I mean, that's that's a fact. Like, so they have to be shown that they're not in charge, and things can change very quickly.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And my
yeah,
final question, which I know a lot of people that are new to your work would love some
yeah,
clarification on, and in
yeah,
many, if almost all your videos, you're always emphasizing the P and the T. And
yeah,
your name Prashant Trivedi, PT, but I know that it goes deeper than that. And I would like some clarification. I know you mentioned the T being a crossing, and
yeah,
I just want you to confirm the P, is that kind of going around the axis? Is that what the P is?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
So if it goes around the axis, like this is T, and then P goes around the axis, and then if you get a symbol, you'll get the Ankh symbol. You
oh,
know,
okay.
the Ankh, like, which is like this on, the Ankh symbol, which was again an Egyptian symbol. If you go into any kind of English words, even like to understand nature of P and T, permanent. Okay, permanent starts with a P and ends with a T.
T.
Okay, yeah, yeah. If you go into like words like past, okay, PAST, past, PT, okay, present, PRESENT, and future, the right spelling, PHUTURE. Okay, so past, present, future, all PT words.
And what
Okay,
is that and what does
yeah,
that
yeah. I
mean?
mean, it is coming from a Sanskrit root. Okay, Sanskrit. There's a term called Paramatma. Okay, Param Atma. Okay, so Paramatma means like what is called divine in English. Okay, like perfect fractality, for perfect coherence, perfect everything. You know, even the word perfect is P and T already, right? PERFE.
Yes.
Okay, T. Okay, so that Paramatma is the, like, what is called a divine super soul. You can call it like that. Okay, so other souls are called Atma. Atma. Okay, okay. So Atma is called spirit. Basically, the English word is spirit. Atma. So then, if you get your Atma gets to level of the sun, sun right now, which we see. So then you are supposed to have a soul,
Mhm.
SOL, soul, because you become equal to the sun. Your spirit has become equal to the sun. And then if it keeps on increasing in coherence more and more, then it gets to more levels like rishis and different beings, and so that's how it. And the final stage is Paramatma. Okay, okay, which is PT word. Okay, again, Paramatma. Okay, so like in the English language or anything, and it's a proper crossing as well. What I call it is a proper crossing. Okay, like like this is a plane. Okay, this is a plane we are on. Okay, now we have to cross this plane. Okay, in order to get to the next plane, higher plane. Okay, so when you behave properly and do the right things, proper things with your body and self, you get to go to that. Okay, next plane. So that will be a proper crossing, PT. Okay, which just happens to be my names of my name, like Prashant Trivedi, PT, the initials. So I was called PT by people a whole lot, like PT. So which turns out to be the same thing, which is the Ankh, which is the proper crossing, which is the same thing as the Paramatma, which is same thing as all these English words. Okay, so this is like the word positive, like, is okay,
And
being positive. Yeah.
what was the Ankh used for in the Egyptian times?
Ankh was again crossing from this world to the next. You know,
How would it be?
so being so it was just again like beings who are holding that Ankh means you are holding the knowledge which takes you from this world to the next.
Oh, so it was more like a symbol?
Yeah, symbol. Yeah.
Oh.
So if a being is holding the Ankh like that and carrying it, that thing, that means that being knows how to cross over from this world onto the next. Okay.
Mm, okay.
Okay, because that is the biggest knowledge you can have, right? In
Yes.
this plane. There's no other knowledge worth having, really.
Yeah. It's the
Okay.
keys out.
Yeah, yeah. Keys out. Yeah, like so that's why when I did a proper crossing play in near a crop circle, like in like 2009 or 2008, and then a pauper crossing symbol actually came
Mhm.
after that, you know. So I mean, this is all around us, like everything is connected and interconnected, and so this is called fractality, you know, like of a fractality also is a ph and t word only if you use the right spelling, you know. Because in English they use f a lot of times wherever phi should come, you know. So
Oh,
like in the word fine, fine, but it is phine. So when you say fine, then it's in phi. Phi means golden ratio. Okay, so when you are in golden ratio, then you are really fine. Like, okay, until then you're not really fine until you are like in golden ratio. Like so that's like English gives a clue, Sanskrit gives a clue, everything gives a clue, and that's why this P and T and the Ankh and the key out of here, all of that is the same thing basically, you know. So
okay.
so it is the only knowledge. That's why a lot of the skies are showing P and T now, like wherever people start noticing, you know, these kind of things around the world. And you
Yeah.
know, so
No
so so
coincidence that that was your initials. That-
yeah, initial. So it just, and I have not changed it, you know. I've kept the same name, so it is not, it's
Exactly.
not my given name or anything like by me or anything. So you know,
Yes.
it's yeah, it just happens. So, and things just fall in place, you know, like they just fit together. And that's all it is. And my whole thing is about giving people the key to getting out of this plane. Simple as that, you know. If they are really interested in that, you know, that's, and like in this time people should have at least have the access to it, which is what other people are not gonna do. So that's the whole point, you know, of everything, you know. And since um, we have internet right now and things like that, this can be told to everyone, and whosoever listens listens, and whosoever doesn't. But at least nobody can say that, yeah, I wasn't told, or it wasn't there, or like, you know, these kind of excuses cannot be given, you know. So multiverse would obviously like to give um, the beings a chance, basically, by giving the actual real information and real knowledge. And and afterwards people have to, like they say, you can take the horse to the water but you can't make it drink it, you know. So so but multiverse can't make people do the right thing, like forcibly, but it can show them that this is what the correct thing is if you want it. And if you don't, if you take another path, so you're allowed to go on that path too, and you know, experience that path and see what happens. And once you think that that's not fun, like, you can again change the road, basically, you know. So so
Beautiful.
that's, yeah,
Beautiful.
yeah,
Well, I'm going to leave it there because I don't want anyone to get
yeah,
too overwhelmed with all of the amazing information that was shared
yeah,
today. Really
yes,
take this time to digest it and to
yes,
think it through. And so many of what you said today, it's such a shift in so many ways for people that are new to your work and to what
yes,
you've been so graciously sharing with us for these years now. Um,
yes, Julie. Yeah,
and
it was nice to get into all of this and like throw light on this, especially the new age things and other things,
yes,
like any kind of misconceptions which are floating around, because there's a lot of misinformation and floating around. And so it's always good to give some clarity on those topics. Yeah.